And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, where our number one goal is to educate, entertain, enlighten, and most importantly, we want to engage you in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, we want you to save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372.
Here's my number, so call me maybe.
Check out our website, consumerqb.com. Our newly redesigned website features all of our expert contributors. You can watch our live stream version of the show as well, WeBeam TV. And also check out consumerqb.com, where you can submit the form and any of your questions, comments, concerns, introductions that you'd like to see to any of our expert contributors. 80 show partners now on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and they're all exclusive categories to help you win and help you live a better life. And we don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. We're going to help you win. We had a lot of calls last week, people wanting to find out more about how they can improve their credit. We had some great calls about insurance reviews, home inspections, so much more. So here we are. We're going to help you win. Let's go around the horn now. It's Intelligent Talk Radio, and I've got some intelligent folks here in studio. Seat number one here, James Lascano, back in studio. He's a business broker with Transworld Business Advisors. Welcome in.
Thank you very much, Brandon. As always, very happy to be here. I'd love to educate all the listeners here about purchasing and selling businesses, and looking forward to continuing the conversation here with the great partners that we have.
That's awesome. Yes, sir. Likewise. And we got Scott Maurer in the house as well, Director of Business Development with Advanta IRA. Welcome in.
Hey, Brandon, great to be back. I'm going to share a lot about different things you can do with your IRA account today. You have people have IRAs, they have old 401ks. You know, what can you do outside the mainstream? You know, beyond stocks, beyond mutual funds, beyond a CD at a bank. What can you do? How can you use other people's IRA as well for your own capital needs?
That's right. Yeah, you can take control of your financial future. You don't have to leave it to what some so-called wealth advisor who's not a fiduciary, what he's going to tell you, she or she, and take control with a self-directed IRA. Scott Maurer, we're going to hear more from him in the show, as well as Ron Fuller in the house. He's the Director of Broker Sales for Mossy Oak Fence. Welcome in.
Brandon, it's great to be here as always. Looking
Likewise.
forward to talking about fences, and we'll also talk about issues with after the hurricane recovery.
That's right.
It's cool to be here with Scott and James.
Yeah, man.
So
got some good chemistry here on the show today.
Absolutely.
And let's give a shout out to our restaurant partner, Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Plaza. Excellent food, wide variety on the menu, and 2223 Northwest Shore Boulevard in Tampa. It's Brio Tuscan Grill, located right there off of Bay Street at the Renaissance Tampa Hotel International Plaza. And they have a Italian menu with great drinks and a cozy atmosphere, bringing you the pleasures of a Tuscan country villa to Tampa. So make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and they're going to hook you up with that free water with lemon over there. They carry that over from Hula. But so we always start off with a little audible here. We got a little audible for you. Peyton Manning help us with that audible. So we want to talk a little bit about personal development. As you know, I'm a published author, professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. And we're going to talk today about how to gain success, how to grow your business, how to grow your sphere of influence. And we talk about practice. Practice is the key, and you want to learn and develop. There's three key qualities to develop focus and concentration. So number one is decision making. Make a decision to develop a habit of task completion. Anytime you set your mind to something, focus on getting it done at all cost. And number two is going to be discipline. Practice over and over. Develop that discipline to where it becomes automatic, much like a baseball player is going to practice his pitches, or a basketball player is going to practice his free throws. You want to make sure the discipline is automatic, self-discipline. And number three is determination. So you got to back it up with with determination and lock it in, and it becomes permanent as part of you when you do that. Accelerate your progress, think continuously, and see yourself as a self-starter and visualize the success. And there's your 2-minute drill from the consumer quarterback. We're going to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. So we've got the great show lined up for you today. We got Name That Tune coming up. We're going to have some throwback hits, some hits from the 90s, and we got our top 10 list coming up as well. Top 10 games to play in the car on a road trip. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. So as a consumer advocate, what we want to do is we want to help you live a better life. We want to help you understand different decisions. And a lot of us these days, I grew up self-employed. A lot of my family members were self-employed down in LaBelle with real estate companies, lawn maintenance companies, property management, furniture and appliance, all types of different self-employed folks growing up around me. And a lot of our friends and folks in our network are self-employed as well. So there's nothing worse than working a long time, building up a legacy, building up a business, and then at the end of the road, you expect to get a cash out or be able to sell that business only to find that you're not prepared. And that's why we've invited James Lascano, Transworld Business Advisors. He's an expert, whether you're looking to buy a business, sell a business, or maybe you just want to start with a valuation of your business. James Lascano can help you with that.
Thank you very much, Brandon. I really appreciate it. And you're correct. One of the most important things is to be prepared. Actually, I just came from a meeting right now, and I spoke to the owner. And the first thing that we need to understand is, anytime someone's going to purchase a business, the simplest thing they're going to ask for is normally two things: the profit and loss statement, and they're going to ask for balance sheets. Okay. This person who is running a business, which I can't tell right now where we left it at, hey, let's follow up on this meeting. She didn't even know what a profit and loss statement was. Wow. And I had to explain it to her, and this is not uncommon. This is like when you talk to people, like, well, what's that? And like, well, you kind of have 2 rows. Yeah. One tells you how much you're making, and the other one shows how much you're spending. And then at the end, you kind of go like, if you're spending more than you're making, that's not good. If you're making more than you're spending, that's good, or you need to manage it appropriately. Right. But they don't understand that. So I had to sit down, and unfortunately, it's not, I can give business advice, but it's not my job, obviously, to go down the line and be able to do a profit and loss statement about, the person has to be able to have that. Their accountant will normally do that. Some people actually run businesses and do their own accounting. I think I mentioned that last time when you were here, when the gentleman used, what was it? He used that TurboTax.
Right.
Yeah, and the whole line item, everything was okay. And then I told him, hey, you know what? You're not doing so bad. And then I realized, but I don't find your rent in there. Yeah. And that wasn't in there. And that was $60,000. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I told him, when I looked and I took that away, now he no longer was at a profitable revenue stream that he believed. So, and those are the things that, like I said, this thing sounds great, to use. But when you talk to an actual accountant, their job, they're going to tell you, you need to have this done the right way. Right. And when you're going to sell a business and you have that, it doesn't look good. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. So definitely have your P&Ls prepared. And that means profit and loss. Again, it's something simple, but I'm amazed that people that do businesses don't even know what that was.
Yeah. James, something that was impactful months ago, you said on a show, and it really stuck with me. You said, if you're making $50,000 a year or less, you might as well own your own business. And that was real impactful. Talk to us about that. That's really something cool.
Well, true. Most business owners, with the tax write-offs that they have and how they run a business, normally they make about that. If you start making it a business and you're averaging about 40,000, it won't be that difficult to basically extend yourself more. You're working for yourself. Exactly. And that's the best thing. You're working for yourself. My daughter actually yesterday asked me, actually it was yesterday this morning. Sometimes I get, it's so much. She was always asking questions. And she told me, Dad, why did you, I realized that this is what you do now, but before you used to travel a lot and everything. And I go, is that why you stopped because you never got to see us? I said, yes. I stopped working in corporate America because I was never home. I was always traveling, whether it was in Arkansas, New York, Washington, D.C., California. It just never stopped. And I said, yeah, this is why I did it. You were growing up and I didn't get to see you that much, and I wanted to spend time with you. I don't, and it's a better lifestyle. So I'm going to work, and I put probably more hours now, but I do it at night on my own schedule. Sometimes I have to do it over the weekend. But you know what? When my daughter asks me, I want to do something with you, I can say, yes, I'll go ahead and take the time on my own self. and you make the money. If you put the effort on any business, you put your heart and soul into it, and you work hard, and you start thinking smarter, you will make the money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's retail is simple. It's the simplest thing out there. You sell a product, you buy a product, and you manage your inventory. Obviously, people don't follow the FIFO rule at times, especially when I look at grocery stores. I'll go. That's the first thing I do. I'll walk
First
around.
in, first out.
First in, first out. You go in and I look at products, and I'll tell them, hey, you know what? This is actually pretty good. I see like 90% of your product is up to date. 10% of it, you should get rid of it, put it on sale, do something, but do not have it here because I'm seeing that it's about to expire in a month.
Yeah.
The other thing too, James, you mentioned your daughter. When you own your own business, you have the potential, if they're willing, to leave your business to your children.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Unfortunately, as that may be so true, 90% of the time in small businesses, that doesn't happen.
Really?
What a shame.
90% of the time. Where's that stat come from?
It comes basically from the IBBA, the International Business Brokers Association, and when also from the BBF. We get all those stats because we constantly go and say, hey, why are you selling?
Yeah.
Most kids don't want to have anything to do with what their parents did. Yeah. I mean, they could be. I met a guy that owned a $20 million business, and his son was the vice president of the business, and he's gone ahead and saying, look, go ahead and run, I want you to run the business. Basically a silver platter.
Yeah.
And the kid was more interested in making little frames and getting $10 per frame with a picture that he could print out and things like that than to taking over his father's business.
Wow.
And his father ended up selling it.
Different personality types, and plus they hear the stories of growing up, and probably in the beginning it was a challenge. So yeah, each person has different personality types. I think is the key, when it comes to that. When
I found out, most of the time when we speak to these entrepreneurs, they basically had like a fire in their belly. Some of them immigrants that said, "Look, we came here with nothing, and we pushed ourselves." And their kids did not. Their kids grew up in a different atmosphere where the father was providing everything for them. So like, well, we've never needed anything, so we don't have that, that hunger. We don't have that drive that our parents had. And it's a shame because you're seeing the parents work so hard and build something, and then they're like, you know what? Okay, if they don't want it, I'm going to sell it, take my money, and they can deal with it.
And that's a good point, because that's what happens is you see a lot of times wealth skips a generation, because they don't have that same drive. They didn't have that same determination and the skill set, maybe even that went into building that, and the hunger. I think a lot of it is hunger. It's you look at it in football teams, and being from South Florida, you look at some of the teams that grew up with less, or maybe the more depressed areas. They were the tougher football teams,
right?
And a lot of times, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So they're used to struggling. They're used to the struggle, and they see that as a way to get out. And I think a lot of times you see that with immigrants when they come from other countries. They're like, wow, I have an opportunity to start a business. I can drive on these beautiful roads. I can so appreciation. They have appreciation for that.
Exactly.
So let's carry this over into the next segment. Don't touch that dial. Brandon Rhymes here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. James Lascano in the house. Scott Maurer and Ron Fuller here, and we're going to help you win no matter what you're facing. Stay with us. Do not touch that dial. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, everybody. I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. We're helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties by featuring them live on air on our daily show, radio and TV show here. 5 o'clock drive time, AM 1380 The Biz, FM 1025 The Bone on the weekends. And we are syndicated as well on WeBeam TV daily, 10 a.m. on WeBeam TV. Got a hot listing down here in St. Pete. I got to let you know about here. Beautiful property on Casablanca Avenue, 3610 Casablanca Avenue in St. Pete Beach. This is a duplex. It's a great investment opportunity at $625,000. Rare find just north of the Don Cesar and just south of the Hotel Zamora. Our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. Check out this listing here at PlatinumMVPRealty.net. PlatinumMVPRealty.net. Also got a beautiful Largo property keeping in the Pinellas County, 14465 Tanglewood Drive in Largo. This is a 4 bedrooms, 4-bath property, 2-car garage, reduced. We just reduced this property down to 550, I believe. 2,900 square feet, just listed, and a beautiful pool home in gorgeous Tampa Bay. And we're giving a shout out to Signature Massage and Facial Spa. Are you looking for a place to get a massage or a facial at a affordable price, but without having to sign up for membership? Look no further. At Signature Massage and Facial Spa, they offer a 1-hour Swedish massage for $49.95. Always, no contracts. Come in early during the early bird hours, and you receive an additional $10 off. And for those muscles and knots that need extra work, ask about getting a deep tissue or sports massage. And if skincare is what you're looking for, they have amazing facial and microderm packages. Check out Signature Massage and Facial Spa, 11248 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa, and call directly at 813-925-8898. 925-8898. And let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and you're going to get 10% off of your first service over there at Talk to my friends at Signature Massage and Facial Spa. All right, we're back here in studio helping you win in any marketplace. We've got James Lascano in the house, Transworld Business Advisor. Scott Maurer is the Director of Business Development for Advanta IRA. And Ron Fuller is the Director of Broker Sales for Mossy Oak Fence Company. And we're back here in studio, going to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. And so from segment 1, we're talking about James. We're talking about buying and selling businesses, how to value a business. And from time time to time we have these different offers that we can offer you. Let's do this for any of our business owners out there, anybody that wants to value their business, or maybe you know someone who does. Let's do a valuation maybe for the first 3 listeners or so that maybe text or call in to our hotline, 813-670-7372. Give a call or a text, 813-670-7372, and we'll hook you up with James Lascano, Transworld Business Advisors, and he's going to help you in the areas of valuing that business. So, what goes into a valuation, James? How do you break these down, and do different industries have different formulas for that?
Definitely. And I did want to I'm glad that you touched on that, because I wanted to speak on 2 different listings that I have that could not be further apart the way we evaluate them. One of them is an accounting firm. I have an accounting firm right now that's for sale for $400,000. It's grossing at the end of this year $350,000 gross, and they are netting they'll probably end up netting around $225,000, but they're netting right now about $170,000. And accounting firms, the way you evaluate them is completely different than other businesses. They don't really even look at the net revenue because it's a book of business. So it's really focused on the gross. How much money does the potential have for growth, continuing growth, and how much money is it making overall? Because the rest is just you already absorb the business and you are able to go ahead and have your accountants work through it. So some of them just focus on the book of business.
Because they could charge difference per a 1040 versus a K1. Is that kind of how they break it down?
Yeah, exactly. And also they have the clientele already, and some of them have already, a diversified book of business where they have mostly businesses and more clientele. Because some people in accounting firms, they'll try to sell more money. They'll say they're worth a lot, but they're doing just at the end of the year and in the beginning of the year. Right. That's where their bulk of their business comes. But then throughout the year, they don't do anything. Where this particular business actually has all year round continuous accounting works, bookkeeping, and also does all types of accounting that very diversified. So great business for sale at $400,000. It's a steal on that price, especially when it's grossing about $350,000. And I have a little coffee shop, again, completely the other side, that basically just focuses on that revenue. And the coffee shop, I call it the best little coffee shop in Florida. It's beautiful. It's owned by a wonderful family, and it's kind of like a Starbucks meets an Art Deco type of little museum. It's a beautiful place. Yes, it's in Tampa.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's listed right now for $85,000. That's $44,000, and it has $125,000 gross. On the books, it's clean, which means that they can prove on tax returns that that's how much they make.
Nice.
And that's the most important thing in these businesses. We have some businesses that, when people want to get evaluated, some of them will say, well, I don't report any of that. Well, guess what? You just made it almost impossible for me to sell it, although it's not impossible, but you made it very difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
To prove it.
The cash, the folks that have the cash, the gas stations, see them. I list some, some commercial assets, and you and I work together on some businesses. But yeah, the cash is, it's the old catch-22 we talk about a lot on the show, especially when we have mortgage financing questions. We have 2 great mortgage lenders that we work with here on the show, Mario Larrea and Jason Brooks. So let's shift gears. Let's talk with Scott Maurer now, Advanta IRA. And, when you look at the ability to have a self-directed IRA, you look at kind of how we evolved. Here we are looking at almost 2018. Can you believe it, right? 2018. But, some 30 years ago, 40 years ago, people grew up, they worked, they went to school, they got a W-2 job, they went, and they had a pension plan, and a lot of companies don't even offer those types of plans any longer.
No, they don't. I mean, a pension plan's kind of gone away, it's probably 15, 20 years ago, because for people who understand what a pension plan is, a pension is a defined benefit plan, meaning that, if you worked for a company, they told you work X number of years, etc. When you retire, they would give you a set amount of money per month, whether it's $500, $1,000 per month. The company is on the hook for making sure that money is there, that when you do retire, they can pay you that $500 or $1,000 a month. So they have to put that money in on their own, invest it, and make sure that they're meeting that defined benefit for all of their employees. Well, a switch happened in the market. They turned a lot more to 401ks. And that 401k is for private companies. There are 403b, 457 plans for government employees. They work basically the same way. It's a defined contribution plan.
Okay.
So rather than the company tell you, we're going to give you X number of dollars in retirement, and making sure, and the company then being on the hook to make sure that benefit is there, instead, the company says, we're going to give you X number of dollars up front. We're going to define the initial contribution. and then it's up to you to then grow that money on your own, and whatever you have in retirement is due to your own trading, your own investments that you make. So that's really been the switch over the last 20 years, really more or even longer than that, to 401k type plans where the company says, here's what you get up front.
Yep.
Go do what you want with it.
Yeah, and most people, what happens is they work hard and they have their head down. They may be busy with a couple of kids at home, soccer on the weekends, and then so they pull money out of their paycheck and they put it into this 401k, and they call that a retirement plan. They call that a good start, but it's not a plan, right?
No, yeah, because you're putting in, when you have a 401k, you're being limited to the investment options that the 401k plan is providing. And a lot of times that's going to be, could be just 5 funds, could be 20, 50 different mutual funds, but you're still in that same game. You got your money tied into the market, whether it's mutual funds or stocks.
Yeah.
There's so many other different things you can do out there. Now, when you're involved in a current in a 401k with a current employer, they can restrict your ability to move some of that money. But it's once you leave an employer, even if you're just switching, not careers, you're just switching jobs. You went from one company to another doing the same thing. That 401k with your previous employer can be taken out of that 401k, rolled over into an IRA, and then you're going to open up all kinds of different investment options for yourself.
So we talked about the problem list. We'll talk about the solution on the next segment. We're going to talk about how Scott Maurer, Director of Business Development at Advanta IRA, can help you with this. And he's also got a seminar coming up on the 20th. He's talking about lending through an IRA. So always they have a lot of great content, whether it's in person or you can go online and subscribe to webinars. Scott, coming up, more from Scott Maurer, Advanta IRA. We got our Name That Tune as well. We got 4 songs. We're going to have our expert contributors try to guess. And we also have our top 10 games to play in the car, on the road. So if you have any kids, these are good games to play. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and former USF football player. Played on the inaugural football team at USF, and got a great season going so far. We got hopefully an undefeated season. We're going to keep it intact. Things are going well. And real excited about our show today. We've got James Lascano in studio, business expert, business broker. And we've got Scott Maurer, Advanta IRA. He's got a seminar coming up on the 20th of the month as well. And Ron Fuller in the house, Mossy Oak Fence Company. And we got coming up, we got our Name That Tune. We got some fun stuff for you coming up there. And we got our top 10 games to play in the car on a road trip. And we're giving a shout out to Felicia Lacaille with Healthy Gourmet. Healthy Gourmet is a delivery service, meal plan starting at $90, optimal fuel, optimal performance. Healthy Gourmet, Felicia Lacaille, organic veggies, natural proteins delivered fresh 3 times a week. And I love it when Monday, Wednesday, Friday roll around, I get my new order dropped off, and it's great food and a wide variety on the menu, and it's kind of like teasing the taste buds every day. So I love that, a quality food. And, what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? And a lot of times we get stuck in the car, we're driving, we're pulling into these fast food stores that we know, we hear about, that, they're on documentaries on how bad it is, but we're like, that McDonald's burger tastes so good. I'm going to do it this time, But, hey, so we're going to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. We got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about real quick out in East County. Got a $2 million listing here, $1.99 million listing, 5421 Kelly Road in Plant City, 12.89 acres. If you know of anybody looking for a nice country escape, beautiful property, 4-car attached garage with a drive-through garage, security systems, way too many upgrades to list here. Over 8,100 square feet, 5421 Kelly Road in Plant City. And we have, another hot property here in Tampa Bay as well. This is a 2606 North Valrico Road in Seffner. This is 84 acres that we have listed. I got a lot of vacant land listed with Platinum MVP Realty, by the way. Anybody out there, realtors, developers, builders, please reach out. I've got about 10 to 15 vacant land properties. This one's $1.7 million, and it's a great buying opportunity on 84 acres with a planned unit development here. So a lot of great listings from Platinum MVP Realty.net. And consumerqb.com is where you can submit the form. You can submit an email form there, and we'll answer any questions. We'll introduce you to 80-plus show partners that we have, ranging from CPAs, financial advisors, several attorneys that are associated with the show, of course, business brokers, credit experts, so many people that all want to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. So here we go, back in studio. We're talking with Scott Maurer. So, Scott, we kind of left off talking about those pension plans, but I love what Advanta does. It allows the buyer, the owner out there to self-direct.
Yeah, the ability that a lot of individuals don't realize they have is to invest that money. You have it in an IRA, you have it in an old 401k, put it to use outside of the stock market. Right now we're seeing market highs every week. Everybody knows at some point that's coming down.
Yeah.
We know that's not an infinite ride up. It's going to come down, so there's going to be some adjustment. Getting into other assets where you can control, you know what you're investing in. James is talking about businesses. Your IRA can invest into private companies. Most people think IRA, you have to invest in, IBM stock or Coke stock, large public corporations. But your IRA can provide financing for other people's businesses. It could provide potentially financing for your own business if you structure it right. You can give us a call. We'll tell you how that works. And when you're talking about real estate as well, your IRA can be a lender for somebody else buying property. That's the kind of the subject of the class we're having on Friday the 20th. It's a lunch seminar at our office in Largo. It's free to attend. You can reach out to us to get RSVP'd for that. But we're going to show people and tell people how you can use your IRA to lend money to somebody else doing a real estate deal. Whether they're flipping a property, they're buying a property for rent, your IRA can stand in the place of a bank and provide that financing, provide that funding, and have the payments then from that investment come back into your IRA. So rather than ride the waves of the stock market, you're just getting a consistent return either from a business you've lent to or from somebody else you've lent to, who's investing in real estate and paying you back rather than paying back a bank.
Yeah, and take control of your future. A lot of these so-called wealth advisors, they run around out there calling themselves the wealth advisors because they went through a 2 or 3 week class, and they're not a fiduciary, meaning they don't have to put your legal responsibility in front of theirs. They could sell you something that's going to make them more money. In a lot of cases, that's what they do. Whatever big name commercials you see on TV, a lot of times they're selling these certain products that are making them more money, much like we did, or a lot of mortgage people did back in the day. We were younger, and we were selling these subprime subprime loans, and it was a good product for some people because it allowed them with the lower credit score to do the refinance, the cash out refinance that paid off their debt, and kind of regroup. But my point is, you got to be financially sound, and you want to think about, what are the models? Who do you want to model? And if you really want to talk to experts, think about self-directed IRAs. Scott Maurer, Advanta IRA, local here to Tampa, another local company. We talk a lot about supporting local companies here, and Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game, one of my favorites. I've been to his business mastery courses multiple times. He recommended a great book here, and it's called Principles by Ray Dalio. So do you guys recognize Ray Dalio? He owns a $160 billion hedge fund, and he's built it up over the years. But I just finished his podcast, Ray Dalio podcast, and he talks about idea meritocracies, how basically the cold hard truth, in business, how that's necessary. And he's quoted, Tony Robbins said he founded it to be truly extraordinary. Every page is so full of many principles of distinct insights, and I love how Ray incorporates his history and his life in such an elegant way. So that's an interesting book to check out if you're interested in that. And, of course, Money Master the Game as well with Tony Robbins. But so what else are you seeing, Scott?
I mean, we see, again, just such a diverse range of assets. I mean, a lot of it is real estate based, people buying rental properties, people, as I mentioned, lending on a rental or rehab, but people invest into, digital currency.
Oh, that's
invest
big
in,
now.
You just mentioned Ray Dalio. It runs a hedge fund. We have people invest into private equity funds.
Yep. Private
startup companies. There's just so much you can do. The IRS says the only two things you can't buy. You can't buy life insurance, and you can't buy a collectible. Other than that, the investment is certainly possible within an IRA account.
And I found out some stuff this week, always learning something new. Is there's a product or a program through the IRS. We've heard of 1031 exchanges with real estate. That's fairly common. I found out about one called a 170 exchange, or a 170. And it was interesting because what it is on the front end, you have a nonprofit, an organization that's a charitable organization that can buy an asset. And it works mainly for buildings or industrial where they have a, let's say a $2 million asset that they're, the owner is asking for, he wants $1.92 million for it. But this charitable company will be able to come in, buy the asset at a lower price of cash value. But what they'll do is they'll pass along like $3 million of tax incentives, tax write-offs. So now when you look at the overall big picture of the deal, it's like, yeah, I'll take less cash and I'll carry these tax incentives forward 5 years. Pretty interesting.
Yep. Scott, I had a question about self-directed IRA with precious metals, silver. How do you go about buying silver or gold, physical assets?
Yeah, that's actually, Ron, a great question and pretty simple process. A lot of the ads on TV or on the radio for gold IRAs or silver IRAs, you're buying an account. You're not buying the actual physical metal. Right. But individuals who want to buy physical gold or silver, we work with a lot of local dealers. There's a couple, some of the more well-known jewelry stores in the area actually have gold and bullion departments where they sell gold and silver coins. And you simply have an account, you open up an account with us and direct us to buy that physical gold or silver from that dealer. We purchase it through the IRA. We send the cash out of your IRA to make the purchase, and then we open up a depository account for you in Delaware where the actual gold or silver gets sent to and stored.
Okay, great. So it's self-directed. So it's a physical IRA where you're getting all the tax benefits, but you're buying monthly or whenever you add to your account balance.
Yeah, you can do it on a monthly basis. You can do it on a yearly basis. Some of our clients they bring over $30,000, they buy $30,000 worth of gold or silver, and that's what they hold. And they just hold it. They're just obviously hedging their bets on the market and how it's going to perform.
And tell us about, you got a webinar on the 20th, or seminar actually on the 20th.
Yeah, the seminar. It's Friday, October 20th. It's going to be from noon to about 1:30 or so. It's a lunch seminar. We buy lunch for whoever attends. Get in touch with us. You can go to our website at advantaira.com to see the events, to sign up for it. But we're going to have a guest speaker talk again about private lending through your IRA account, how to take your IRA, be the bank, lend money to other people, have all those gains come back either tax-free or tax-deferred back into your IRA.
Real estate's such a great class. You could really, truly, and Grant Cardone talks about this, never pay taxes. If you carry over assets through an IRA, keep buying and selling, putting it back into it, renting it out, you technically, legally, never pay taxes.
That's true. And I think a lot of people, people talk about real estate, how much you can make on a flip or whatnot, they don't even consider the tax. Everybody watch the shows on TV. Someone just made $100,000 on a flip. Well, if they don't structure that right from a tax standpoint, they could be losing 30 to 40% of that to taxes. So using an IRA helps eliminate that concern, and being smart about when you're making an investment into real estate. Use the 1031, use the IRA at legally to help you avoid that tax impact.
All right, you guys ready for Name That Tune? Let's do some Name That Tune before our fourth segment here, okay? So we got 4 songs from the 90s. All right, so just whoever has it first, just let us know. Here we go.
Really?
You know it, don't you?
I don't want to answer.
Kind of embarrass you if you know it, right?
That's Britney Spears.
That's Britney Spears.
Hey, you were better than I.
What about this one?
Boyz II Men.
I wasn't sure if it was Boyz II Men.
That was the 90s.
Yeah.
That reminds you of like prom or something, homecoming dance.
I'm feeling old.
God, thank
Bad
you.
memory.
Homecoming
I
dance.
had a good memory, so.
All right, here we go.
Wow. Yeah.
Celine Dion, Titanic song.
You got it. You got it, Ron.
I'm still the old guy.
Tearing it up. All right, last one for today.
Can you give me some?
Oh,
That's a
Nirvana.
popular right there. All right, there's your Name That Tune. Name That Tune. Okay, coming up, we got our top 10. We're going to do top 10 games to play in the car on a road trip. And if you got young kids, this will come in handy, definitely when you're on the road trips out there. So more from our expert contributors as well. We've got James Lascano in studio, Scott Maurer, and Ron Fuller here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Giving a shout out to Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. It's our official hotel partner. Now make sure you let them know when you book your room that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and you're going to get a 20% discount just by mentioning the Real Estate Quarterback Show, the Consumer Quarterback Show. And it's a beautiful whitewashed Mediterranean palace. Got a breakfast, lunch, and dinner on site with the Castile restaurant and a rooftop lounge. So check out Kempton's, the Hotel Zamora, beautiful St. Pete Beach. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com. Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. helping you win in any marketplace. That is the goal of our show. We have a QAA formula here. You're going to have questions. We want to provide you answers, but we also want to give you those action items on what you can actually do about it. Massive action is what's going to move you closer to success, closer to your goals. And we're making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All-star lineup today, Intelligent Talk Radio. We got James Lascano in the house, Scott Maurer, and Ron Fuller. Let's talk to Ron Fuller now. He's the director of broker sales, Mossy Oak Fence Company. Yes, sir.
Brandon, I like to talk about something that's timely because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
Brandy and Shane Miller, our owners, have a slogan that's really appropriate for the days we're in. Let the Mossy family protect your family. And with the hurricane, a lot of people, they have the fence down. They want to jump the gun, get the fence back up. You have pets. It's a safety concern. Make sure you're using a quality fence company. Give you an example, Brandon. Let's say there's John Doe who worked in construction and he sees the need for fencing. I'm going to be John's fence company suddenly. Yep. So is he insured? Is he bonded? What if he cuts his thumb off on your job site? What if he busts his knee up on your job site? Who's he going to go after?
The homeowner.
You got it.
That's right.
You got it. So not only might you get inferior work, but you run the risk. You open yourself up to that. Plus, just not a good product. And what about warranty 6 months from now when the fence market levels back out? So let the Mossy family protect your family. We're really proud to be serving Tampa and your listening area. So I want to talk about safety, sellability, and security. So sellability, one of the things that you know, well, with your real estate background and me as well, today's kitchen is tomorrow's outdated kitchen, right?
Right.
Swimming pools tend to not hold their value. In some cases, people really don't want the pool. But there's one thing you can invest in that everybody's going to agree that they want, and it's a fence. So it's a good investment. It adds, according to FBI, you're 4 times less likely to be broken in if you have a fenced yard.
Wow, 4 times less likely.
Yep.
Nice.
So you're adding security. You're also adding safety. And let's talk about this. Suppose you have a dog, and you think your dog's great, he's friendly, he loves you and your kids. But what happens if that dog gets loose and maybe bites a neighbor or gets in a fight with a neighbor's dog? So you're adding a level of safety for yourself, your pocketbook, but also potentially your neighbors if you have a pet. Or maybe you don't have a pet, but you have a beautiful, gorgeous 3-year-old daughter, and she's playing in the backyard. Well, what happens if the neighbor's dog comes into your yard? So there's just so many advantages to having a fence. And sometimes it's not because you have a pet, but it's because you have a child or vice versa. And then, of course, just the privacy aspect as well. And we offer different types of fencing. It's really exciting, the possibilities. One that I kind of want to highlight is in some HOAs, you can only have a metal fence. You know, it's a no-brainer to have a board-on-board fence or a very popular PVC fence. But what if your HOA says, you can't have that, metal fence only, but you have a cute little Chihuahua? Is there such thing as a cute Chihuahua? I don't know.
Depends on who you ask.
Right. So you have a small dog. We have a really unique product. It's called a puppy fence. So actually, let's say the slats are a particular distance apart, but down low, we can actually increase the close capacity there. So you actually have on the bottom of the fence really close slats. Small pet can't get in or out. So there's a lot of unique product out there.
Do you have the sample with you? Did you bring it in?
No, but I did
okay.
Tell the listening audience about the wood sample I handed you.
Yeah, it's really heavy, duty. It's not the cheap stuff you buy from one of the major box stores.
Yeah, I brought Brandon in a sample of our cedar, and he's a big strapping football quarterback. What'd you think when you picked that piece up?
Yeah, pretty heavy.
Yeah,
pretty heavy. It wasn't even a full slat.
That's what I love about football. I love offense and I love defense.
defense. Here's one for you. Back in the day,
it's my quarterback.
Remember that one? You don't have your headphones on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Remember that's
was it program?
T.O. Yeah, T.O. Remember?
Oh yeah.
They were. Tony Romo was hurt, and
it's my quarterback.
He was debuting for his movie career or TV career. He goes, "That's my quarterback." He's crying on the sideline. We got to lengthen that clip so you can sound
Remember
it better.
Joe Namath? He got in the couple of cheesy movies as well.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, he drank a little bit too much on the sideline that one time too, didn't he? Because Susie Colbert, they said they caught him slurring a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, let's do our top 10 games to play in the car on a road trip. So if you have small kids, you've been in this situation, it's okay, we need to kill some time. We got a road trip going on. So top 10 games to play in the car on a road trip. James, help me out here.
This is going to be really hard because I go on road trips all the time with my kids. Everybody knows me. We always go to Disney and stuff, and we just put the TVs on.
Nowadays, yeah.
It's like I don't want to hear each one of them just like the screen. Just put on Disney movie or something. They're on the TV. Wi-Fi.
Quality time with kids in the car.
I love. You know what? I guess if I had to say something, Punch Buggy.
I remember that one. Yeah, that was. I remember that one.
Yeah.
You get a sore arm if you're not paying attention. Back in the day.
It seems like my girls are always playing it because they're just screaming out.
Yeah. Not on this list. You guys have any ideas? Top 10s?
My kids like to play I Spy.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Number one on the list.
Darn
so
it,
probably
Scott.
the classic
That was mine.
make time go by game of all time. It says one person looks around, chooses an object. I think we all know what that one is. All right, Ron?
Well, Scott stole my thunder with I Spy, with my little eye. I feel guilty. I had the 3 rows of SUV seats that TVs would drop down, and that's how I took care of my kids.
Yeah.
But I remember riding with my dad. I was in the 3rd row way back there, and he could still manage to cuff me in the head from the driver's seat. I still don't know how he did that.
Who said punch bug? Was that James?
Yeah.
No, it is actually here. Slug a bug, they call it. Number 4, I'm looking through the list. It says the concept is players keep track of how many Volkswagen Beetles that they spot on the road and many variations
There's not that
of the
many
game.
anymore.
No.
Yeah, you don't see them.
They had stopped making them for years. That was a tough game.
Yeah.
When I actually, it's funny, when I lived in Mexico, they still make the old type Volkswagen because they still actually manufacture it. And they sell it for like $5,000. I couldn't believe it.
The old school.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll just give you we'll stay in the top 5 here for time purposes. So we got 20 questions is number 2. So I guess you're asking in certain questions. So it says animal, vegetable, or mineral. You kind of ask 20 questions about it and try to get to the point. And then number 3 is license plates. So license plates, it says age of your kids, young participants. So they're going to try to see the first one to Z win. So they're trying to find all the letters in alphabetical order on license plates.
That's interesting. My kids are try to find a license plate from each, like how many different states you can find.
Right.
Nowadays, I think you can Florida. You can say how many different license plates there are.
Oh yeah,
it's like
true.
We
Florida,
did.
you can do that.
We evacuated for the hurricane, and it was interesting to see in Georgia and Alabama a lot of Florida people driving by around that time. Let's go ahead and jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, top tips, things to do, parting words of wisdom. James Lascano, Transworld Business Advisors.
I couldn't have said any better than you did. Get prepared. Anytime you're going to talk to a business broker, whether you're selling or buying, be prepared. If you're buying a business, obviously you can have a call previous to the conference or meeting that you're going to have to say, look, what should I look for? What do I need to answer? Because if you're as a buyer, you walk in and the seller can't answer basic questions,
right?
You just lost them, and it's very, very bad. Unprofessional too. You want to understand your business, and like I said, if someone asks you a P&L, and this actually happened. This is why I mentioned this earlier. You ask a P&L, and the guy said, "Well, I don't buy that because I want to keep my overhead low." And
right.
We're like, what?
Right.
So, know what you're talking about in that sense. And as a seller, always get your financials in order, of course.
Scott?
I think you touched on it with the wealth advisors earlier, Brandon, as well. It's make sure you know what's going on in your retirement account. It's one thing to put money away each month or each year into an IRA or into a 401k account. Know what you're investing in, and make sure the people you are investing with, your advisors, have your best interest at heart. There are a lot of people out there that are selling products. They're being pushed by someone above to put you in a particular investment that may not be best suited for you.
That's right.
And if you're going to sit there and blindly follow somebody else, you're going to end up not nearly as good a position as if you take responsibility for your own, find out other things you can do out there, and make those investments. Self-direct your own account. Choose your investment.
Excellent. Yeah. Hey, another great show. Sorry, Ron, we're out of time here. But thanks to all of our expert contributors. Thanks to our listeners out there. And James Lascano, Scott Maurer, Ron Fuller. Great show. We Beam TV, 10 a.m. daily, 5 o'clock drive time on AM 1380 The Biz. Weekends on 102.5 The Bone. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as packing up leftover food and carrying it with you, handing it to that person that you see in need, and be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.